We recently brought home a new member of the family, Cashin, a charming 4-year-old neutered male tabby. Not long after settling in, I decided to switch up his diet. That's when I noticed something concerning. He started scratching the base of his left ear. Not just a little itch, but repeated, focused scratching. Then came some swelling and small bumps near his chin. Right away, I suspected a food allergy, most likely from a new ingredient I had added to his diet, and probably shouldn't have. If you're passionate about natural pet health and wellness, you're in the right place. Click the link and subscribe to Veterinary Secrets to stay informed. Now, if your cat has been scratching in a similar way, particularly near the ears or chin, it could be experiencing the same issue. A food allergy, possibly to something as common as fish. Cashin came to us with a dry food diet that I wasn't thrilled about, so I switched him to canned food, specifically, First Mate's cage-free chicken formula. It seemed like a good move. But then, I introduced tuna as a treat just because he loved it so much. Along with that, he had some poultry-based food that also included fish. And even though I've said it before, tuna and fish shouldn't be a major part of a cat's diet, I went against my own advice. Tuna is high in sodium, often lacking essential nutrients like taurine, and most importantly, fish is the most common allergen in cat food. Roughly a week into the diet change, Cashin started scratching. A few days later, while petting him, I found a new swelling, subtle but definitely there. When I took a closer look at Cashin, I noticed small, red bumps at the base of his chin. It was subtle at first, easy to miss, but they felt swollen and bumpy when I touched them. Then I looked at the base of his left ear, right along the side of his cheek, and found a red lesion. That's the area he's been scratching. Even my son noticed it and asked, "Did Cass scratch himself?" And the answer was clearly yes. What's concerning is that none of this was present when we adopted him. At the shelter, Cashin had no history of skin issues or scratching. Which means, something changed after he came home with us. I checked both of his ears, clean as can be. No ear mites, no signs of infection. So when I see a cat who's recently had a diet change and suddenly starts scratching his face or ears, I immediately consider the possibility of a food allergy. In Cashin's case, the most telling signs are the lesion near his ear, the bumps under his chin, and the absence of any parasites. I've run a flea comb through him multiple times, and he's been treated since before adoption. So fleas and mites are off the table. That leads us to one of the most common presentations of a food allergy in cats: skin issues. A swollen chin is often feline acne, and that's frequently caused by an underlying allergy. Other symptoms can include excessive grooming, itchy ears, and sometimes, though less commonly, gastrointestinal problems. Things like vomiting, a gurgling stomach, or diarrhea might also show up. There are a variety of diagnostic tests out there, some using blood, others using saliva, claiming they can pinpoint food allergies in cats. But in practice, their accuracy is mixed at best. It often comes down to clinical signs and elimination diet. When it comes to diagnosing food allergies in cats, many of the blood and saliva tests that claim to detect allergens simply aren't reliable. There's really only one gold standard method: the elimination diet. But we're not quite there yet with Cashin. Before taking that big step, I want to try something more straightforward: a 5-step plan that's based on common sense and clinical experience. You can try these steps too if your cat is dealing with similar issues. Step 1. Eliminate fish. This means no more tuna treats and no more fish ingredients hidden in their main diet. Fish, especially tuna, is one of the most common food allergens in cats. So I've removed it completely from Cashin's meals and transitioned him to a single protein formula: turkey. It's just one animal protein, and turkey tends to cause fewer allergic reactions in cats than beef, chicken, or fish. Step 2. Start an omega-3 fatty acid supplement. Omega-3s are nature's anti-inflammatories. They're safe, inexpensive, and supported by hundreds of studies showing benefits for cats with allergies. These fatty acids help the immune system calm down, reducing the inflammation that causes redness, swelling, and itching. Cashin's immune system is likely overreacting to something in his food, sending inflammatory cells to the skin, especially around the ear and chin. By giving him a good quality EFA supplement, we can help reduce that allergic response. There are several options out there: salmon oil, flax, and others, but my go-to is krill oil. Not only do we use our own krill-based supplement, but krill is naturally rich in EPA and DHA, the essential omega-3s. Plus, because krill are low on the food chain, they're virtually toxin-free, which is an added bonus. So that's where I'm starting: a canned turkey diet and omega-3 supplementation. Let's see how Cashin responds, and maybe your cat will benefit from the same approach. The next step in helping Cashin recover is adding a high-quality omega-3 fatty acid supplement to his food. I just drizzle it onto his canned turkey, and good news, he loves it. He devours the food and gets the supplement all in one go, which is perfect. Now, beyond changing his diet and addressing his internal inflammation, it's important to treat what's already happening on the outside. That brings us to step 3, treating his skin lesions topically. I'm using a natural product called Dr. Jones's Skin Relief Balm. It helps reduce redness and irritation and also targets the secondary bacterial infections that often form in inflamed skin, especially in areas like the chin where hair follicles get clogged. The balm contains coconut oil, a well-known anti-inflammatory and antibacterial agent. I've started applying a small amount to the base of Cashin's ear and the underside of his chin, twice a day when possible, or at least once daily. He's pretty tolerant of the treatment, and I'm optimistic that it will help reduce the bumps and swelling over the next week. The best part is that this balm is 100% natural and safe for cat. So if Cashin grooms himself and ingests a little of the balm, it's not going to harm him. That's a big relief when you're using a topical on a pet who licks everything. But what if that's not enough? Step 4 is my backup plan. If the tuna-free diet, omega-3s, and skin balm aren't enough, I'll introduce licorice root extract. This herbal remedy is often called the natural corticosteroid. It's fast-acting and helps reduce inflammation and itching quickly. It's especially useful when your pet needs relief fast. However, it's important to note that licorice root is intended for short-term use only. It's not meant to be used daily over long period. So to summarize, I'm starting with food adjustments, internal support through supplements, external relief through a balm, and if needed, I'll bring in a natural anti-inflammatory like licorice root to manage symptoms. Earlier, I mentioned step 4, using licorice root extract if the first 3 steps don't work. It's essential to use an alcohol-free, glycerin-based tincture, as that's safest for cats. I'd be giving Cashin just a small amount, about 1/4 milliliter, twice daily and only for 14 days in a row. This is strictly a short-term solution to bring down inflammation quickly. But what if Cashin continues scratching or if the topical balm just doesn't cut it? Then we move to step 5, which is another natural topical treatment, propolis spray. Propolis is a compound made by honeybees, and it's been widely studied for its anti-inflammatory and antibacterial effect. It's proven to be really helpful for pets with skin issues, especially those with underlying allergies. I plan to use the spray twice a day for 2 weeks, targeting the bumps under Cashin's chin. If he seems nervous about the spray itself, as cats often are, I can spray a little on my finger first and gently rub it onto his skin. That's usually much easier and less stressful for both of us. So if your cat is scratching, particularly around the ears, cheeks, or chin, and especially if you've recently changed their food, it could very well be a food allergy. Don't be overwhelmed. Follow these 5 steps. Adjust their diet, add omega-3s, treat externally with natural products, and bring in supportive herbal remedies if needed. These natural approaches can help resolve many allergy issues at home without needing prescription medications. It's what I'm doing with Cashin, and I'm confident it's going to make a big difference. Thanks again for watching this episode of Veterinary Secret. Click the subscribe button up top, tap the bell for updates, and be sure to check the link below to download your free copy of my pet health book.